overview of our Enerlead Plus for Canada report. And I just want to, it's a weekly report that's sent out with the focus on new well permit information, drilling, and rig information, as well as facility permits and pipeline permits for Alberta. And the structure of the email, the first thing that we look at, one of the things we do is collect contact information, and we're updating and adding new contact lists all the time. The concept of the report, we're using MailChimp as our platform, and it allows us to put a file in, and then if you click on the file or click on the link, it allows us to download the corresponding report. So what I did is I selected contact role facility engineer, and here is a list of facility engineers. Typically, we include the company name, first and last name, the title, what they call their subtitle, so a little bit more detail about their title, and any other background information we can collect regarding skills, emails, email addresses, locations, so on and so forth. So it's just to help you out with your marketing campaigns as you focus in on your extending your reach in the oil and gas industry. And then we jump into our facility or our permit reports. We segment that based on here's Western Canada, and then we also do it by region/play. So we've got Grand Prairie, Drayton Valley, BC, St. Albert area, as well as the heavy oil and Saskatchewan light oil are the areas that we focus on from a new well permit, wells drilled, and rig information. And I'll just take a look at the Grand Prairie as an example. So every one of them, I can just click on the Grand Prairie and look at the account list. Again, I select it and it allows me to download, and then I get a nice report on all the organizations that are drilling wells into the Grand Prairie region. And you can look at the map to get an idea where that is. We look at what their kind of current rig count is, and then how many wells that they've drilled this year, how many wells they drilled last year, how many wells they drilled since 2021. We've got their address, phone number, so on and so forth. And we update that on a quarterly basis. So you can go in and this information gets updated and new accounts will be added to the list accordingly. We've also got the rig report. So if I go in and I select the rig report, and then we can come in here and we can take a look at the drilling rig report, and then it gives you a breakdown of all of the different drilling rigs operating in that area for the organizations, as well as, so there would be the organization. This is the area Grand Prairie, and then what we take a look at here is we've got the rig number, and then how many rigs this particular company is actually operating. So Tourmaline has 13 in total, and then here they have 4 rigs operating in that area. How many wells they've drilled this year, how many wells they drilled last year, so on and so forth. So just a nice quick snapshot of this particular market. And we also have what field that they're going into as well. And I'm just going to grab the Kakwa as an example. Some of the things that we do is maybe correspond. Don't say, there we go. What I can also do at the same time is maybe look at 2 sources of data. I can look at my drilling report, and then I can come over here and I can click at the corresponding map. And then this is the map, and then I can go through, and I'm just going to change my view here to the view that you would see as a end user. And I can come in here and I can select and go in and look at a specific drilling site, drill down on it. And, in this case, it's just kind of the permit hasn't been developed, so on and so forth. So the other things that I can do some search on the map. So I wanted to look at, just going to back it out a little bit. If I extend the view again, bring everything back into view again, it says I can search the map, and then I can say, okay, well, let's look at the Kakwa area as an example. Maybe that's my focus. And now I have 7 different organizations drilling into that. I might be interested in the ARC, and then I can drill in and take a closer look at ARC, maybe zoom out again, so on and so forth. I can also do my search on my map and come in and take a look at, well, I'm only interested in, let's back out of it a bit. I'm going to take a look at ARC specifically, and there are the rigs that ARC happens to be using, and I can just come in and I can go ahead and I can look at each one of the different areas. So here's a well pad that they're preparing related to this particular permit. So there's the power of the map. And what I did is I took off of my report the fact that they're in Kakwa area. And other things that we could also look at, I can also look at the wells drilled report. And so the rig is, where is that rig right now as per the last 30 days? But then if I look at ARC Resources, we can look at the rig 543 and we can see that it was drilling a multi-well pad at this particular location here. I can go in and search either one of my map for this location, and I'm sure it'll come up and be able to see exactly where that location is. And so again, information, the wells drilled, how many rigs they have operational, how many they've drilled this year, how many they've drilled last year. The surface location, if we see groupings like that, we know it's a well pad that this organization happens to be drilling. So ARC Resources drilling that particular well pad. And then the last report that we'll take a look at is the well permits report. And there we go. I'll come in and take a look at that. And so when I look at the well permits report, one of the things that I'm always interested in is the kind of new companies, greenfield companies coming in. So these are new well permits last 30 days. We can see here again, pretty large pad. Envativ is looking to drill a fairly large pad here. But I'm also coming down and taking a look at this first column D is rig count. And then I can see a couple that do not have rigs currently operational. So we'll look at, say, K-Bob Energy as an example. So that might be an indication that this company might be after breakup or right at the end of the drilling season, be able to pull a rig up. So that might be somebody that I would like to call out to. One of the other things that we can do, we do geocode everything. So in this case, if I did want to go in and take a closer look at what what's going on here from an Envativ perspective, one thing that I do is I would keep up Google Maps separate than the rig one that I put together, and then we can just come in and do a quick search and just take a look at where is this location, from a geographic perspective. So I can see, hey, it's just a little bit south of the Wembley area, and they're planning on doing a large pad there. Things that I look for again is just kind of like, do I see other facilities? So they're going to drill a large pad there. So we know they're going to have to drill some pipeline, put some pipeline in. They probably are going to put a battery in somewhere. So it's an early indicator of different activity that will be going on with this particular account. And then we'll come down here so we can do the same process, same procedure for each one of the areas, whichever one you happen to be focused in. And then the same process when it comes to facility permits. So I want to look at my facility permits last 30 days. I'll go ahead and click on this particular report. And then this is my the accounts and the facility permits last 30 days. What I look at here is I'm looking at, is it a new license or is it an existing license? So in this case, again, new license being it's a greenfield organization or greenfield location, and we see what type of facility it is. So I might be saying, okay, well, that's interested for me. I'm interested in the Wapiti area. And then I can come in and say, hey, they're going to build a new compressor station there. And again, come over to my map, just take a look and see what infrastructure they may or may not have in that particular area at this time. So we'll just go ahead and hit enter. And there's the CNL Wapiti where they're planning on putting in, a new compressor station. We can see it's a pretty active area. And I might also want to take a look at and back to my drilling map and then zoom out on my drilling map and then say, well, what does the Wapiti area look like from an activity perspective? And then I could come over to my here and then WAP, Wapiti. So I could see the different organizations that are drilling in the Wapiti area, maybe scroll in and just take a closer look at, where the drilling rigs are related to kind of the Wapiti area. And so here we could see this would be Wapiti. And then, so down here we've got Paramount, which we took a look at it, Obsidian. And then where is Obsidian on this one? Take a closer look here, back out. And there's Obsidian from a Wapiti perspective. and then just kind of go in and take a closer look at the different drilling in that particular location. And we'll just come back here to the report one more time. Same idea, pipeline permits. What we're looking at on pipeline permits is being able to come in here and take a look. And really, when license amendment, that's an additional pipeline that's addition to a pipeline that's existing already. And a lot of times in that particular case, the artist where it comes in and says, hey, we have a license amendment, and they're saying it's 23 kilometers. That is the existing pipeline. So they're probably adding 1 or 2 kilometers to that particular pipeline. The pipeline itself is 23 kilometers. So I might want to look at more specifically the permitted pipeline. So here we see Baytex has a 2 kilometer pipeline, and then I can come in and take a closer look at the Baytex area, that area. So if I want to grab this and then come back to my map over here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a closer look and see this area that Baytex is saying that they want to build a pipeline, and then we'll just drill out a little, come out a little bit. So that looks like an existing, maybe it's no, that looks like a grain facility, but they're building a pipeline for there. So it's an indicator they're probably going to be doing some drilling in that area, because I don't see a lot of well pad activity in that area. So it's an example of how we can take a look at where the company is going to be operational. So that's a quick overview of how this report works. The idea again, just really focused in on being able to segment the data accordingly, support the data with some maps. So just making it very easy for you if you're looking at a specific area. Come in, and then you're able to go in and take a look at both the drilling map that we provide and also map it on existing maps yourself.